In just 31 seconds, Barack Obama shatters Ivanka Trump's argument on live TV. What happened next? Watch as the tables turn and Ivanka crumbles under the pressure. You won't believe how it ends. The stage was set for a typical television debate with polite smiles and small talk. Barack Obama sat across from Ivanka Trump, calm and composed.
And them, between the real Americans, who of course support him, and the outsiders who don't.
She appeared polished and ready to defend her father's legacy.
So ask me in a decade, but I think, for me, I think confidence, I look to how my parents raised me, and they taught me to be self-reliant. My parents were not people who over-flattered. They were people who encouraged us, who pushed us.
The topic for the evening, leadership in modern America, was simple yet charged. Obama, with his usual grace, answered questions thoughtfully, emphasizing that character is shown in how you treat others when no one is watching.
The state of the United States government behind extremist views, we've got a problem. And so your original question is, are we at an inflection point? We're at an inflection point in the sense that we always have to fight for our democracy.
Ivanka, on the other hand, talked about her father's results-driven leadership, emphasizing bold action over words.
Grow a business. So you have to take a local approach, but it's something we're very committed to tackling, and we've launched several initiatives.
The tension slowly built as Ivanka subtly jabbed at Obama's leadership, suggesting that his post-presidency had been more about speeches than action. She boldly stated that her father's leadership was about delivering results, not waiting for consensus.
I've been incredibly impressed by his instinct. I think his leadership skills are now being displayed on a much larger platform. So in a certain way, I'm not surprised by the success he's achieved.
Obama stayed calm, giving her space to speak, but his quiet patience began to unsettle her. When Ivanka pressed further, implying that Obama didn't make tough decisions anymore, Obama didn't react. Instead, he responded with a calm, "Change doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it happens quietly when no one's watching."
Has needed most. At a time when millions of our fellow citizens were sick and dying, we needed a leader with the character to put politics aside and do what was right. At a time when our economy was reeling, we needed a leader with the determination to drive what would become the world's strongest recovery.
Ivanka, sensing the moment slipping away, continued to push. She criticized Obama's time in office, arguing that people didn't live off words, but on results. "Grace doesn't pay the bills," she said, attacking Obama's leadership style. Obama, with unshaken composure, responded, "Results matter, but what kind of results are we talking about?" He pointed out that leadership isn't just about building towers or making profits. It's about building trust, something money can't buy. The room began to shift, and Ivanka's confidence started to falter. Ivanka tried to reclaim control, speaking of how family shapes leadership and how her father's loyalty to his family makes him a strong leader. Obama, however, calmly turned the conversation toward boundaries. He asked, "Barron is your son?" The simple question stunned Ivanka, and the room fell silent. Obama's calm, pointed inquiry revealed the cracks in Ivanka's argument, making her question the shield of loyalty she had relied on. The audience felt the shift as Ivanka's usual composure cracked. Obama continued, "I can respect loyalty, but when it replaces truth, it becomes something else entirely." The silence in the room grew heavier as Ivanka's earlier confidence turned to uncertainty. Obama's words had cut through her defenses with quiet precision. "Leadership," he said, "isn't about the loudest results. It's about the choices you make when no one can stop you." By this point, Ivanka was visibly shaken, her earlier sharp words now sounding forced and small. Obama's tone softened further, offering gentle but firm advice. "Sometimes loving someone means having the courage to question them," he said. The room felt his authority, not from aggression, but from a weight of his calm wisdom. Ivanka, trying to regain control, forced a smile, but the moment had passed. When she finally stood to leave, the respect in the room was palpable. Obama had never raised his voice or insulted Akirshar. Instead, through grace and measured responses, he had shifted the debate entirely in his favor. As Ivanka walked off stage, her silence spoke volumes. Obama had won, not through forceful words, but by letting silence reveal the truth. The room, filled with a quiet respect, understood that leadership is not about loud declarations, but about the power of restraint, responsibility, and dignity.
Constitution. to include the voices of those who'd once been left out.